Welcome everybody to episode 142 of the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. We are your hosts, Adam, Amy, and Russell Gibson. Back to our usual spot of Sunday night.
We seem to settle in on Sunday nights. We'd always just come back to it, don't we? We try and get away from it, but
I mean, we can mix it up every now and then. But Sundays are where the live feed is at, I think.
Yeah, the You Can't Comp This show is performed. Yeah, I think that's our destiny, Ad.
It is. And how have you been on this? Things have been getting colder in Melbourne, so I don't know. You staying warm?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Actually, I think hobby-wise, I've had a really good week, actually.
Yeah.
Had a good couple of deals, picked up some PC stuff.
Nice.
Which doesn't happen that much for me anymore. I'm sort of in this funny spot now of like, once you get X amount of cards, it's kind of hard to keep, adding to it. So
yeah, no, I feel that for sure.
And I've definitely dove headfirst into this whole set building list and then prioritizing. And so it's actually really helped me this year, like focus my PC collecting. And then like, to be honest, the two deals that I did this week, it was just luck and timing. So this could have happened 2 months ago or 2 months from now. It's just happened. They happened 1 week. So no, very, very, very good week. I cannot complain at all.
Nice.
And I think basketball news wise and card wise, there's heaps going on.
Oh, look, it's the start of the playoffs. Of course, we're going to get news galore, I guess, it's very much a news heavy week. Is that a good way to?
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. There are teams that have been eliminated from the playoffs. There are second round series that are about to begin or have started.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening, and there's some exciting stuff happening too.
I think for me also the basketball quality has been quite enjoyable. Like there's nothing that's happened so far. Look, there's been a couple of blowout games and some of the games I have turned off because they're, 20, 30 points. But at the same time, a couple of teams I've enjoyed watching them get blown out. So I've also, that's been quite good for me too. But
True.
The main thing I want to talk about this week is Blez and his run of hitting nebulas. I think that to me is...
that's a run. You're speaking about getting good luck. Well, it's probably not as good as Blez.
It's what I've been thinking about the most, probably for the last maybe week and a half. Yeah. And I've actually spent a bit of sort of time deep diving through this. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you about this. And then I think we've got some other stuff, which is, probably not quite as cool as this Blez story that we've put together. But at the same time, I think it's going to be a really fun show. So I think we should
There's a lot take
this. Yeah, take this opportunity too to welcome our listeners on Central Coast Radio. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, listening, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, because we do have that varied and altered time slot we are being played on. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. If you do want to catch our more mainstream
regular feed on Central Coast Radio, it's Thursdays, 10 a.m. till midday.
Yep.
So, that's Australian Eastern time.
I think on that note, let's get into it, Ad. And I think you should really lead on this because you were the one who
so the
pointed it out to me.
First cab off the rank is a story that was sort of discussed or raised. I saw it through the socials by our lovely friends across the ditch at Sports Cards Nonsense.
Yeah. Keep up the great work, lads. Yeah,
Mike was there talking about Tops and their unlicensed basketball stuff coming this year. Now this is God, what do we? I don't know how to approach it. I just saw this and was like, probably need to chat about this.
I think the first thing to actually clarify is the timeline. Yes. So basically, officially licensed Fanatics products will come out October 2025. And I think so. Basically, what we're talking about is from this date now to that date. Yeah. Anything that comes out of Tops and Fanatics is going to be unlicensed. I think that's the best place to start.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep. And look, it's not like we're talking about fake cards. They're legitimate. They're legitimate trading cards. This is the thing. They're not knockoffs. They're genuine. They're genuine Tops products.
Well, when you say genuine, what you mean is they're legitimate companies who are making cards.
Spot on.
But they're not counterfeit cards.
Yeah, they're not counterfeit cards. Yeah. But when we talk about licensed, it's the players' uniforms that we're talking about with licensing, because the players have. The players are contracted to Fanatics, which is Tops, right?
Correct.
So the player's autograph is licensed to the company that's selling the card.
Yeah, definitely.
The likeness of the player is also licensed, and that's fine. It's the jersey that they're wearing. They do not have the right to print that player in that jersey. Is that correct?
What they generally do is they will put them in either a jersey that has got the same color scheme or they put them into a pose where they can't see the officially licensed logos and all the rest of it. So
correct.
They're a little bit tricky about it.
It's a loophole. Well,
so I think in baseball, actually, it's very common to have unlicensed products. And I would even look, I'm not big on baseball, so I don't want to go too far on a limb here, but basically people will still buy it. Actually, I'm pretty sure too, it has the team name. So it has the player and the team name on there. It just doesn't have the logo and their uniform in it. Yeah.
It's So like, I mean, I haven't deep dived it. I just thought it's pretty ballsy by Topps to be going as hard as they are with this stuff, or Fanatics, more to the point.
Yeah, sure. So maybe just tease out a little bit more actually what they are doing, because I think that's really the main thing now next to talk about, isn't it? So
are they releasing their Topps Chrome, Topps Finest? Is there another one? I think there's a third product that's coming out, but they're putting these players in with autos.
It's right. Okay. So that's the part that I probably would have said first. It's the autographs, right?
Yeah.
Can I be honest with you? No one cares what the product is called. No one cares if it's called Topps Cosmic or Topps Chrome. You know, what people want is Wembanyama autographs. Like, let's just cut to the chase. So
let's stop tiptoeing around. True.
LeBron autographs. And then, we've spoken about this in the last few weeks about the players who are in the... So, okay, this is the easiest way to think about it. All the players that have the Donruss no autograph cards will be signing it in these Fanatics unlicensed products. So if you want those autographs, you now need to go out and put your money into Fanatics pockets and not into Panini's pockets. So
I've got an example that was something that was, and this is, I think that was taken from 130 Point as a. So I will.
130 Point is getting some social media presence at the moment. They're picking a lot of stories up. Yeah.
For those playing at home, that is a photo taken. I think it was the Sports Cards Nonsense Facebook group that shared the image, but it's LeBron James and Victor Wembanyama dual autograph. Notice that there's no Lakers, but he's wearing purple, LeBron, and notice that there's no Spurs or NBA icon for Wemby, but he's in his colors.
Yeah, that's it. 100% correct. That's exactly right. So actually, I think that particular card, is fan art ad.
It might be.
That's a speculative.
Is this what we're looking for, though? Is this what... I'm just looking for an example, because we don't have the actual product.
So that's exactly what the potential is.
Yeah. This is not a small issue. It's probably a time sensitive issue, because I think the Fanatics agreement kicks in next year. Is it 25-26 season?
So they can put this stuff out now.
Yeah.
And that's the crux, isn't it? So I suppose for me, there's two further questions or two topics to talk about this. The first one is, are people going to want to buy it? And in my opinion, the answer is yes, because I think the market has been so thirsty for Wembanyama product.
Yeah.
And the way that how liquid that he has been. And I think if you're being pragmatic about this situation, people have been very thirsty for it, despite the fact it doesn't have autographs in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is an older ongoing issue, but again, despite the fact it's not having game worn or game used memorabilia attached to it too. So people are still going absolutely, bananas for this stuff. So that part of it's going to answer itself. I think the answer is going to be yes. And then the second part of the conversation, which is probably in my mind, what has created the most buzz on, different forums and, chats and comments and posts and stuff like that, is the whole part about unlicensed product. Is it collectible? And so we put up a post about this and we had a few people come back and forth on it. And I think basically where my thoughts lie with this is that unlicensed product is always going to have a place in the hobby. So if you want to quote someone, say like Brian Gray, who's been doing Leaf and has been doing Leaf for a really long time, that company is not without its problems, and they've had various allegations about fake autographs and all that stuff. So put all that out of the way. They actually make nice designed cards. They make nice designed products. But at the same time too, it also has a price point in the hobby. And I probably think this is where I sit with this in terms of, being a benefit. You're going to pick up something that's, say, 50% less than what you pay for with a licensed product.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, in my mind, it doesn't really matter what people say about it. If people are collecting it and they're buying and selling it, that's totally fine. If you can pick up something that you like to look at for, say, 50% less of what you're getting into a pro uniform, I think that's really good. If you like it, that's fantastic. And this is my final thought on this too, is I think it really is player dependent and also card dependent. So does it mean that every single unlicensed card is going to be collectible and is it going to be valuable? Absolutely not. Does it mean that people are going to be chasing Victor Wembanyama despite the fact it's unlicensed? So yes, it does mean that. So I think that's where I'm sort of got my headspace at.
I found an image of what a Topps Chrome mock-up's going to look like, and it's got Victor with not showing that it's a Spurs jersey, just black and silver, holding a basketball with an auto and not the traditional rookie shield.
Yeah.
So it's not the Panini one, the RC, but it's got a rookie card thing on it. It says San Antonio, Victor Wembanyama. Looks all right.
So you're in the boat of this product looks good, you would potentially purchase one.
Yeah. It's not... the unlicensed thing is very... I think it's slightly misleading. They don't have rights to the NBA team side of it, but they do own... They have the rights to the player's autograph. And I think the important thing in this instance is the player's autograph.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the property we're talking about. We don't like we do care how shiny the card is. We care about it being a rookie card. It's got a rookie badge on it. It's year of release of rookie. Like it's I don't know. It's coming out later this year, so it's probably not his. It's not his rookie year, really.
Well, it's got the rookie logo on it. They are going to market it as his rookie logo, mate.
Because it's their first release.
Yeah, it's undebatable. It's going to be. Look, so I don't like unlicensed stuff, and I have no place for it in my collection. So that's like where I honestly lie on this. And so if you are going to buy autographs, guys, like hats off to you. It's no disrespect what I'm about to say, but I personally think for Wembanyama in terms of long-term value on this guy, it's going to be the numbered prism stuff. And the rest of it, it's very much out. The jury's out for me. Look, I think, kabooms and color blasts, that's obvious. I don't even need to mention that stuff. But where I'm really interested to see where this all goes with is like, say, Flawless and iMac. And also, too, just the way that the licensing has been. And also because their releases are so delayed. So for like what I'm getting to with here is, are we ever going to see Wembanyama in Flawless? Because it wouldn't, in my head, I can imagine Fanatics kicking up such a stink with them in court that product never actually gets released.
Wow, okay.
Or, I don't know if this is actually possible, Panini somehow expedites like 2 years of product into 6 months. I'm completely just spitballing here and just trying to parry all this out. But so I think, the other thing that makes me a little bit sort of cautious in this space too is the prices that we're currently seeing for unautographed, non-game war material of this guy. Like we're talking, huge dollars is being thrown around here. Like, $500,000 for the one that was PSA 9 recently sold.
Yep,
and
there was that one.
Yeah, and I think where I'm sort of going with this is if people are paying, ridiculous amounts for an autograph, particularly the early stuff that comes out, is it probable for that sort of to settle down in a year or two?
Yeah.
In 5 years or 10 years? Yeah, I think that's where I sort of worry about this non-associated.
Oh God, I feel like the license is owned on both sides. So the rights to the auto. This is where I think our opinions probably differ.
And that's totally cool.
And that's where definitely. I'm like, So I've got it up on the screen. I've got the no autograph, the Don Russ first day no auto.
Yeah.
And it's a first day no auto. What is it? Like it's a stamp that says no autograph.
Well, in that instance, so take that back to what I was saying to you before about how each card you need to sort of look at instance by instance and player by player. Like that's nonsense. Like let's just get that out of the way. That's ridiculous.
It shouldn't have the words
how's
no
that
autograph on it. Yeah.
And the guys that were buying that stuff up, like I want to talk to these people. Like tell me, why did you buy it? Like
yeah. And then like versus a top certified autograph.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a genuine autograph because he's allowed to sign it.
Yeah.
I see this being a hot topic of debate, and given that it's one of those generational years where look, Wemby season 1 of Wemby, if the future is anything to go off what we've seen, this is going to be a really important debate down the track.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, like the fact that the autograph isn't with the main company producing the cards is, I don't know. It's bad for the hobby.
Okay. Final thoughts?
I'm not going to say I'm not going to pick up if I might buy the product. I might buy the product.
Would you
I'll
jump
have
into a random break with the potential to hit Spurs and then potentially hit a Wemby autograph?
Spurs, Lakers, like what? Hornets. Who else is in there? Like there's a lot.
Jamie
from this draft
Huckers will
lot.
be signing in it. Yeah.
Yep. There are players that
Miller from Hornets will be signing in that. Yeah.
Yep. LeBron James.
Yeah. So the answer is yes. You would buy into it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We'll give it
Great.
a look. See. Give it a look. See for sure.
Yep.
And I think with this being an unlicensed product, do you think the Topps product will be a bit cheaper than the Panini Prism?
So I think. So speculatively, you would expect it to be cheaper than the licensed stuff, but this is where I'm also a bit in a funny space about it. I'm not anticipating that at all because we've seen how crazy the prices have been for non-autograph stuff. Yeah. And then you just hit the nail on the head. All the other prospects we're talking about, plus LeBron. I think people are going to froth over LeBron autos, man.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. This next segment is titled "Was Blez Lucky?" So Blez is one of the bigger breakers in the world. I would put him in the same sentence as, say, Leighton Sports Cards, backyard breaks. That's the type of size I would equate him to be. So in a 2-week period, he hit the LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Maxey, Nebula Choice 1 of 1. And in addition to that, he also hit the Victor Wembanyama. So I think my initial thought process was, this is just big public breakers getting loaded cases, loaded boxes.
Yep.
And I was just sort of going down.
Here we go again with backyard breaks nonsense. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. And I was basically just going down like rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, reading up about this. And to be honest, I didn't really anticipate discussing this on the show any further.
Yeah.
I had a message from someone the other day who would prefer to be unnamed, but all I can sort of say is that this person is very trustworthy and I believe
a very reputable source.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I went back and watched some of Blez's videos, actually he spoke about it. So what Blez spoke about was that he did the numbers and he estimated that 1,200 cases were made.
Yep.
And he estimated that 85 cases were out in the public domain. So what my source told me was that Blez went out and bought 100 cases. So if you now go onto any major retailer, you will be unable to buy a sealed case of Prism Choice 21-22 because Blez literally went out there and bought the whole lot. In addition to that, he put a $250,000 US bounty on the Anthony Edwards. And so this is where my mind went from conspiracy to someone sat down and did the numbers and worked it all out.
Yeah.
And actually, this is now where my mind lays. This is like my third point. So actually, I feel that, and Blez has been very public about this. He's like, I want that Anthony Edwards card. I'm offering you $250K for it. And he also did a video, like live negotiating with the guy. And he said, I'll also throw in a $30,000 autograph. The guy very politely said no. But where I now lie with this is that I think Blez used his break page, did the maths numbers, said, I can buy all this stock off, I can sell it all off, and then literally pick the cherry off the Sunday out, buy it back from the person who basically has paid for it all. Okay, I'm not being very kind to Blez right now, but this is like my new conspiracy theory me.
But he was brought it to the surface by buying it all.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, I think he actually used like his break page he wanted to get that card into his possession.
He didn't go and buy
like,
5 cases of product and just luckily get these.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, in Hick's case, let's call it 85 cases to 100 cases that he bought out, right? Like, I think it's
a lot of
that's
products.
The perfect number. Yeah. And so, look, I'm going to say this to him. Hats off. I think some people play chess and some idiots like me are playing checkers. And I think this guy is clearly the chess master. Unfortunately, the play didn't, go the way that he wanted to. The person, didn't sell him the card.
Yeah.
But, what a crazy, crazy play. So I think, in addition to that, obviously what I'm getting to here is that he didn't get loaded boxes. He's He's done the maths. He's done all the hard work. He's gone out and taken that risk and bought up all the stock.
Yeah.
And then the final note I've got on this too is that the other one of ones that came out were Wesley Matthews, D'Angelo Russell, Steven Adams, Kevin Knox, and Al Horford. So, look, I'm sure there's going to be more Nebulas coming out of all of that, because if he's got 100 cases of the stuff, he'll be ripping that for
sure.
At least the next few months, surely, right?
Yeah. A little while. Any
thoughts on that ad?
I think it's smart. If I had the money to like play one of those calculated risks and go, you know what, there's X amount of product out there and it's going to cost me Y amount of money.
Yeah.
Can I afford to do this? And would this be a smart play? Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. No, 100% hats off to him. And I like this story narrative way better than a guy getting loaded boxes. Like, this is so much cooler.
Yeah. It's way, cooler than
Yeah.
Panini just sent us a bunch of loaded boxes.
Yeah.
Oh, I only bought a case, but we pulled 2 one-of-ones. Like, yeah.
Look, you got to say, though, it is amazing what he's done, but then to also get the Victor one-of-one, that is a hell of a coincidence. So,
yeah, for sure.
I think if you want Nebulas going to Blez's breaks, I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah. You want to break, product. I mean, and that's, there we go. If you want to do you want to take the calculations out of it, I think this is time to go to a break, maybe.
That's a great time to go to a break. So thank you, Amir and Team Bangman, for continuing on as our sponsor. We're very happy to have you on board. The bronze edition has just dropped. It dropped on May the 2nd. 11 packs for $129. So Amir is now attacking a different price point again here. Prism 2122 that we're just talking about. Select, Mosaic, Donruss Optic. That looks to me like Donruss again. We got Flux in there, the Hoops Premium, which is a lovely product. And then 2 more Donruss packs in there too. So 11 packs for $129. That's delivered. Contact Amir on the Bangman page on Facebook, also Instagram, the Bangman. He'll hook you up. All payment methods available. Zip, Afterpay, PayPal, credit card, you name it. Amir has got that all sorted out. He's all over it. So again, thank you, Team Bangman. We love having you on board. Alrighty, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that little break. We are now going to do another little brainchild that I've had this week. And when I initially started thinking about this, I didn't realize it was going to be as juicy as I realized once I started looking into the numbers. So I'm super pumped to talk about this. So basically, it's a who have you got? I tried to do you a little card ladder comp, Adam, because I do know you love these.
It was a beautiful little graphic on the on the group. It was great.
I built a little template actually, so it's pretty quick for me to do this now. So
I like it. It's actually more informative than the card ladder one. Maybe they'll reach out. They might reach out to you to do their
as a consultant, maybe.
Yeah.
Giannis Silver Rookie PSA 10. And I'm only going to talk about PSA pop. I don't care about the
we're not going
generate pop. Yeah, look, my thought process is going backwards and forwards on this, but it's my segment. I can do what I want. Ryan, I'm sorry, mate, if I'm hurting your feelings. I was going to say,
poor Ryan. All the work he does.
We love you, Ryan.
We do. Although
last sold price, $8,600. Now, the Jokic rookie silver population of 158. Last sold for $3,520. So, Adam, who have you got here?
Who have I got?
Now, do you need a bit more stats and information to...
Look, based on the stats that we've got...
All right, they're both aged 29, which I didn't know.
I know, yeah. I was going to say, I might go with Jokic.
Okay. All NBA, 5 times for Jokic, 7 times for Giannis. All defense, a big fat 0 for Jokic, and 5 times for Giannis. 2020 Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, 2023 for Jokic, 2020 for Giannis.
Oh, we haven't added his Finals MVP for this season because
that's of course, like both their careers are still ongoing. So MVPs in the regular season, 21, 22.
Yep.
To Jokic, 19, 20 to Giannis. So yeah, I didn't realize they were the same age. That was the first thing I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
And I also didn't realize the massive gap between their prices on their product.
It's a pretty big gap.
Yeah.
It is a pretty big gap. The 2013 product is not easy to come by as far as numbers go with the 10s, like the pop count. So sub 100 pop count is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I don't know. The 2015 product's not fabulous for pop counts. Like 158 PSA 10s of the Silver Prism. That's
when you say not fabulous, you mean delicious, really, don't you?
Yeah, exactly the opposite, I guess. Yeah. It's one of those things where, I mean, as soon as you go past that year, sort of like go to 17 onwards.
17, 18's not bad, but you're right. It gets crazy.
It just starts heading up and up and up until you get to 50,000 base. I don't know. I feel like the number of Lucas just keeps going up. But we're not talking 2,500 pop count for the Silver.
Wait till we get to Victor stuff like that. You think Lucas higher? I bet Victor's already higher.
It's all right. The pop count on his autos will be low.
Absolutely. Do you know what would be great?
Oh, goodness.
Is that PSA won't grade them because they're
unlicensed.
That would be delicious.
They send it back. Oh, goodness.
Do not slab.
Oh, goodness.
All right, let's go to the comments. Matthew Hull, Joker is the new Giannis. Giannis is the new KD, is what Matthew Hull says. I feel like this is controversial and almost trolling people.
Giannis is still at his original club, so I feel what Matthew's saying with this comment. However, there's a little ways to go before
I think that's
KD status.
I think that's unnecessary shots fired, Matthew. But that's okay, man. You're always welcome to come and shoot your shot. Sean Alloway, Joker surely can only go up from here. Yeah, this is where I'm at. I really think, and do you know what's funny? If we were having this conversation a year ago, you'd just be laughing, wouldn't you, about what the prices were?
Yes. Yeah. You'd be like, oh, really? Yeah.
I think despite that, there's still opportunity here because let's use Giannis as a measuring stick. Like there's still a long way to go between those two.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. Very true.
Ben B, Joker 100% for return on investment.
Al.
LOL.
Al. He wanted a very specific shout out for this, I think.
Oh, did he?
Neither. Do their cards even increase in price? Winky face. I think it was an autocorrect. It should be just buy Luca.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just buy all the Lucas.
So I think where Matthew was just trying to troll Giannis fans, I think Al's just trying to troll you right now, mate.
Yeah, so. This is. I feel like I feel targeted right now.
Do you feel triggered? That's the real question.
No, definitely not triggered. I wouldn't say that's solid advice to buy Luca, but there's definitely options available given.
Hang on a second. Have you been watching him tear up the Clippers in the first round?
Ooh, the first round.
They've been looking good, admit it.
He's one step closer to actually achieving something. So,
and Kyrie and him are looking actually fantastic. Kyrie's been playing inspired basketball.
I reckon if Dallas actually makes the NBA Finals, somebody's just going to send someone to go in just to try and send Kyrie off the reservation.
All right, this is the first official segue, and I've got this open, so this is easy for me to do. 2012 Kyrie Prism Silver Rookie, or his first Prism card anyway.
Yeah.
Pop 27, last sold for 1350.
Are you buying it at that?
Well, if you look at the last 2 years, it's actually down 40%. So I think in terms of him having a career resurgence and the price and the pop on that, look, to be honest, I think now I've seen this Joker. Like, Joker is so high up on my list right now. Kyrie is almost 12 floors below. Do you know what I mean?
It's very nice to see Kyrie doing well.
And, 100%.
And that's lovely. Let's give him a pat on the back, but let's pull the brakes on buying his cards. I think that was a very interesting comp to KD. That's still playing on my mind, Matthew's comment. There was one more comment. Luke Rowe, Joker.
Luke.
The Joker is mad undervalued, underrated, could almost Giannis in the rated possibly. Yeah. Okay. Giannis, I wouldn't say he's overrated. I think Giannis has hit a string of years where his body's really not holding up. These injuries are raising concerns with me.
So I think that's why I was surprised when I saw that they were both the same age. And because in my head, Giannis just seems a bit older. But I think to take Luke's point, I think we sort of are forgetting how physically dominant he was. And now that he is injury prone is maybe not the right word, but
He's
I
had
think
some injuries.
I think his body's starting to let him down a little bit. It does sort of bring his game back to earth a little bit. And I think that's what's also a really interesting comparison with this, isn't it? Just how different these two athletes are. I love that too.
Yeah. And look, I mean, you can see it on your very, very beautiful graphic there.
Thank you.
That Giannis is on the down.
Yep.
And you see Jokic is just slowly
very
ticking
steady.
up.
Yeah.
And we do make jokes about it, but there is still an MVP to be announced for this season.
Yeah, totally.
And Jokic is one of the finalists. It's very possible that Nikola Jokic is by the couple of weeks after this airs is a 3-time MVP, and possibly in a couple of months' time is a 2-time Finals MVP.
That's it.
I mean, the way the Timberwolves played today, there's a chance he doesn't even get to the finals.
Yeah, look, that's right. I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves because it is so hard to win a championship.
Yeah.
And also, let's not get overexcited by one game in the playoffs too, because so many adjustments could be made between
these are the reigning NBA champions.
That's right. Yeah,
losing game 1 means nothing.
Edwards did play well today, though. That was
he killed it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think that really shows. You're right. The age thing was a bit interesting because they were drafted 2 years apart.
Yeah.
That the prices, like it's not a massive difference, I guess. But yeah.
Crown Royale Part 2, this next segment is called. So basically, Crown is out and there's stuff on social media. I haven't been able to find that much on eBay, actually. I spent a bit of time looking at that. Interestingly, on sold listings on eBay, if you Google for Crown Royale Kabooms, it is literally all counterfeit cards. So just probably I'm speaking to the wrong market. If you're listening to this podcast, I'll probably say this is not really targeted at you, but just buyer beware, guys. Look at checklists, look at other examples before you're bidding down on these cards because there is a whole bunch of absolute forgeries and rubbish out there. So Lil Pullman hit a to 10 gold Wemby, and the other card that is also in the wild now too is the 1/1 Duncan patch autograph. So congratulations to those two hitters. As I said before, I could not find any sold listings, so it's a bit hard to talk about prices and all that stuff yet. So we'll probably do another check-in on this in the next couple of weeks. But the last thing I did want to talk to you about too is if you're a checklist person and you're a set collector, why don't you have a look at the Crown Royale base set? It's just 100 cards.
Okay.
They are absolutely lovely looking this year. I think the design is excellent. I prefer it from the last couple of years. It's got a little bit more color into it.
Okay.
Most people don't go into breaks to get them. I think they'll be very happy to, dare I say it, give them to you, sell them to you at a very discounted price. I think without stating the obvious, you'll have a bit of trouble probably picking up the LeBron, the Wemby. Maybe you'll pay $5 for the the Joker, but
small price to pay to chase a set like that.
Yeah, particularly when other sets are now getting up to 300 plus cards. 100 base card chase is kind of doable.
That becomes more of the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. So, any thoughts from you on Crown Royale?
No, I think it's a good looking set. Yeah. It's a very good point though with the chase element. Yeah. It's not an overly difficult chase, and sometimes with collecting sets, it's nice to have one that's not impossible.
Yeah, I haven't done a chase this year, and I've never done Crown, so I'm actually thinking about it.
Oh, the temptation is real. Get a couple of kabooms while you're at it.
Yeah, actually, do you know what? Let's skip ahead one thing, Ad. We'll do this next one. This is from Oyvind Holland. It's called Listener Questions.
Okay.
And it's about set collectors. So, hi all. As a set collector, I'm wondering if anyone has done the research on when is the best time to buy cards for your set chase. This is perfect. Yeah. Are you better off buying cards early on near release of the product? Generally, prices would be high for a number of prospects, or waiting some years.
Yeah.
Almost all prices would have dropped with the exception of perhaps 1 or 2 budding superstars that have actually increased in price. Yeah. Depending on the set, you'd have to consider availability of cards, more easily available early on if it's a limited print run. When would the best time to buy? 2 to 3 years after release, maybe. This thinking relates to rookie sets. Vet sets are probably more stable, and you'd be better off waiting until the initial hype of the product wanes. Thoughts or anything else to consider? So for me, this is actually really cut and dry. I'm going to eBay auctions and buying up the key rookies straight away.
Yep.
Yes, you might pay a little bit more for it, and I get that, but then you're involved in the chase, and then
you've got the key components.
Right. Then you wait, say, 6 months and go into CompthIs and just sit down one night and just go through the checklist with a couple of drinks and just buy them all up. I think the problem I've had with doing chases and you're buying cards from over here and there, and then maybe one gets lost in the mail or whatever it is, it's just too much of a faff. Whereas you just sort of go into CompthIs, you get it done in one shipment. If you do forget one, then you put it into your next shipment and then you're all sorted out. It's just done and dusted. Because I think also probably where I'm at these days too is just the time component. I just don't have time to try and save 10 cents here and, buying off an auction on Facebook Marketplace and eBay and then tracking it. It's just too hard.
I think timeline comes into your into perspective when you're set chasing as well.
Yeah.
Like it's like, how quickly do I want to complete the chase? So like, are you prepared to wait it out? Is probably my...
I think that's what Oyvind's talking about too, isn't it? Yeah. Look, I think the other thing too is CompthIs has a very good offer system, and most people that put cards up on there actually want to sell them. So most people are actually willing to do a deal with you and get them off their inventory. So that's the other part of it too.
Yeah, timing is definitely important. I think when you're chasing a set, obviously there are cards or players that are more popular than others, as we talked about, the key rookies, the superstars, and you're always going to be paying a premium for those cards. If you're trying to save a buck, the off season's probably the time to do it. I mean, we talk about that off season, between season lull.
Yeah. It's like people just don't care about cards for a couple of months.
Yeah, and it's also like the rotation between old product and new product. Things are very, like, there's that brand new release premium you pay. Like, we've seen it but time and time again.
Definitely.
Where cards are worth a little bit more when they're the first week of release, first month of release. But then another product comes out and the prices drop because everyone wants to put their money into the newest thing.
Yeah.
So giving it that little bit of time, I think it depends how patient you want to be and how quickly you want to complete your set. But I agree as well with your point about just buy the key pieces, because that gets you invested, and it stops the heartache towards the end of the chase.
Yeah,
it's like I know people that are chasing, and I hear it a little bit is, oh, I need this except I haven't got the Kobe, and I'm like, well, you'll be paying a premium for it now.
And actually, that's really annoying. So
yeah. And if you say you only need the Kobe, the price goes up.
Yeah, that's right.
So you just be like, oh yeah, I was collecting this set and no wonder if anyone's got the Kobe. Don't really want it. I don't know how you get around the interest in the card.
So speaking of that, Golden's auctions at the moment have got the full set of 86 Fleer up in PSA 10 for auction. Mm-hmm. And they're doing all of it except for the Jordan rookie. So they're doing that in 2 separate auctions. How annoying is that?
Do the whole lot.
Yeah, that's right. I get why they're doing it, like in terms of the numbers and the return and all the rest of it. But at the same time, geez, what a frustrating auction to jump into.
Congratulations, you won almost all of the 86 Fleer set. Now, if you'd like the other one, you can just join our other auction.
Yeah, that's right.
Just finishing shortly.
He's not a billionaire for being silly, is he?
This is true.
Ryan Miller, if it's a common insert set, I reckon it's well after the fact and just buy the lot on CompthIs. There you go. When there's 20 of each on there. If it's a 1 per hobby box or semi case hit type insert, I almost reckon it's like chasing a rainbow. You need to get in early because the supply turns to a dribble a month or 2 after release. Also depends if you're ripping. Like if you're collecting, say, an Optic Splash Holo set from retail, then you may as well just get them early because we're collectors and what's a few extra dollars. Yep. Great answer, Ryan. Thank you so much for chipping in and doing that. So, yeah, great. Let's go to a break ad. What do you say?
Sounds like a fantastic idea.
This next ad break is brought to you by Slambox, Australia's best value basketball repacks. Visit www.slambox.com.au to check out the latest series or join the Slambox Facebook page and message them directly. Slambox features big-name autos including Giannis, Zion, LaMelo, Banchero, Chet, Ja, Tatum, and more. Super short prints, case hits from a variety of different products including National Treasures, Flawless, Noir, Immaculate, Impeccable, and more. Slambox has different tiered product levels to cater for all budget levels and collector preferences. Thank you, Slambox, for your support. We are back. Now, Adam, I want to talk about probably my second favorite set, which is Select. I love it because it's a very balanced hobby product in terms of autographs, memorabilia, rookie patch autographs. What I probably am not so much of a fan of is when I scroll down to the checklist and I see the 58 different variants, which is not a joke, by the way. And
you're trying to compete with Prism.
Oh, they've blown Prism out of the water.
It's a hold my beer moment.
And then the 4 1-of-1s that's in there. Black, white, gold Prism 1-of-1. Disco black 1-of-1. Finite black Prisms 1-of-1. Snakeskin black Pulsar. Photal Prism 1-of-1. That is a mouthful, Adam.
That's insane.
I wouldn't say I'm speechless because obviously I know what I'm going to say next, but I think they are taking this licensing ending to the nth degree of what is humanly possible and how much product you can actually bang out and make of something. And here we are, guys, 58 variants. It's not a rainbow anymore. It is a kaleidoscope.
I like it. Hashtag kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
that means different things last year or the year before when the Netflix show came out. But I like it. It's a kaleidoscope these days. It's definitely not a rainbow anymore.
You've got no chance to get that rainbow. You've got no chance to get the kaleidoscope. You've got no chance.
You can't get the kaleidoscope if the first 5 are 1-of-1. You know what I mean? Like there's 5.
Is there 5 1-of-1s?
Yeah. Is it 5?
It's 4.
Am I counting wrong?
You're trying to get me, man.
Snakeskin.
Yeah.
Pink marketing. I'm on the Premier level.
Is there another
one? Oh, wow. Mezzanine level has only got 1-of-1.
Oh, the pink marketing's to 4, though.
On the court side. Oh, is that?
Yeah.
In the court side checklist, it's a 1-of-1.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right.
So, on the Premier level, pink marketing is a number to 4. Court side, it's a 1-of-1.
Okay. That's an interesting little twist.
And then, oh, wow. Okay.
I wonder why they did it like that.
And then the mezzanine level, there's only the only one is the finite black prism. So yes, a very confusing set checklist for Select. Thanks, appreciate it.
I don't want to be a skeptic in this space, but I'm fully through the skeptic door right now. I think adding the mezzanine level just again lets them print out just an insane amount of product here.
Have they gone too far?
I think when Select became retail in the first place, that was the general consensus. 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And so this is just taking it to the absolute nth degree, isn't it? I think where I go with this, so let's take this conversation full circle. When we spoke about before the unlicensed product, we were talking about what is collectible and what is not collectible, right?
Mm.
So why don't we just apply that same line of thinking to this product here? I feel like if you look at the checklist, let's just look at Concourse to keep the conversation relatively simple and civil.
Yeah.
You just sort of go, okay, blue prisms, cosmic, cracked ice red, disco, elephant. Oh, elephant is still relatively collectible. Flash orange, glitter gold, green, white, purple, ice green, scope, shock, silver, tectonic orange. Tiger is still relatively collected. Tricolor and wave red, you just consider those as base.
Yeah.
Then moving down the list, white sparkle, they're definitely collectible. The zebras are absolutely collectible. That's one of my favorites, personal favorite. Then you just look at the numbers, then you go, great, we got $2.99, $2.49, $1.99, and just price it out accordingly and appropriately. Yeah. I think that's the key word here. And you just don't get caught up in the silvers and I don't want to say this in a judging way, but you just don't get caught up in base at all in this product. You just say it's almost like filler.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thing to say, isn't it?
I love Select as a set. I really love Select as a set.
There's
But
no
I
way I'm
think
doing a chase in this though, man. Look at this
no,
checklist. This is insane.
the checklists are cooked. Like this is
It's 400 cards, mate. Yeah.
no. You might go for some of the insert sets.
Yeah, sure.
There's some nice insert sets.
Yeah, sure. Do Crown Royale base set that gives you like a good sprinkling of who's in the NBA at the moment. Then you do a nice, and they do nice inserts. That's fine.
Artistic Selections looks like a nice, pretty set. 10-card chase.
The color wheel was supposed to be a true SSP, but actually on the retail market, it did okay, but it didn't do as well as what you would probably think it would.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on, hey Ed.
Yeah, let's.
So this next segment is based on a thought that I had last week around we've really gone away from making recommendations for purchases. So I want to get back into that. I think some of these you are not going to be surprised by this, so I'm not going to go into too much detail with them because we've spoke about them on previous shows. But
if we're suggesting you buy them, we've probably spoken about them before.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But at the same time too, like I think it's kind of cool to, make a summary, get a bit of a checklist, where are we at this, time in the league? Have I missed out on players? Have I omitted people? 100%. Like this is 10 people in the whole of NBA forever. So now my list, I've broken it up into 3 segments.
Okay.
Deep prospects. So that's my first 2 that I'll do. I've got some all-timers on here, and I've got some current guys on there too. So at number 10, Jalen Johnson. Silver PSA 10 last sold for 123. His purple Pulsar to 35 sold for 376, which I actually was surprised how high that went.
Yeah.
That means to me that actually there's a little bit of action and people starting to pay attention to him. So I think that's a good thing that the market is shifting in the right direction.
Yeah.
He's just finished his 3rd year in the league. 16 points, 8.7 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 51% from the field, which I really like. 35.5 from 3. Again, I like that a lot. 16.3 PER, which is actually surprisingly low for me, but that's I can live with that. Now, the other reason why I sort of went through his 3rd-year stats is because I think people can jump in 2 to 3 and 3 to 4, so I'm expecting more development in that space. I also think the Hawks roster is very much a work in progress, and we're going to talk about some fake trades later on, and Trae Young. So I wouldn't be shocked if Trae Young gets moved this year, and then does the team get turned over to Jalen Johnson?
Possible. The
first absolute non-surprise of this list is Herb Jones. But what did surprise me is his silver PSA 10 last sold for $10.95, which I'm absolutely ropeable that I didn't get that purchase. So the person that got that, congratulations, I hate you. The Pelicans are probably going to reshape their roster in some size or capacity, whether Ingram gets moved, CJ McCollum gets moved, or both. So I do see Trey Murphy, Herb Jones action potentially happening.
Okay.
At number 8, Jalen Brunson. Now, I completely dropped the ball on this one. I didn't see his shot making. I didn't see his scoring coming through. And frankly, I didn't rate him as a prospect. I had him as a sold, and I've been very open about that.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months, he is up 240%. Another way of saying that he's gone from $100 to $335. And I have to say, where I'm sitting right now, I don't have a problem with that as a buy. As crazy as that sounds, and against everything else that I've probably said, I love him too as a storyline in the NBA where he is a true story of skill, determination, perseverance. And in a league where people get drafted on potential, he is the absolute story of substance over potential. So Number 7, I've got Tyrese Maxey. I'm so high on this guy. So from here up, it's really hard for me. So you could organize these in different ways. I'm so high on Maxey right now. It's not funny. $300.
My question on Maxey for you is it, have we missed the boat?
I don't think so. I think this guy is ridiculously good. Okay. I think as high as you are on Anthony Edwards, I'm like maybe as high Maxey. On Tyrese. Yeah.
Maxing out on Maxey.
Yeah. So look, yes, you might say the Silvers are not a good purchase. That's fine. I don't argue with that. Get something else. I think Maxey is a good buy at the moment. Now, this is a little bit relative playoff news, but at the same time, I have been high on this kid this last 2 years, is Banchero. And I feel like he has just played really well in this first year of playoffs. And frankly, I don't think his team is as good as the Cleveland Cavaliers. So if the Magic get up this year, interpret that more as
a credit to Banchero, yeah.
than actually, the Cavaliers, if that makes sense. So
yeah, that makes sense. Complete
now,
sense.
the play here, I think, this is how I see the market. The raw silver last sold for 50, and his PSA 10 is trading at 289. So there's a lot of room to move there.
Wow.
So
okay. So even if you hit a 9, what are the 9s going?
Look, you probably would lose money on a 9. And actually, that was a conversation I was having offline with someone tonight about how is PSA 9 now a raw sold, but that's the world we live in. Current playoff statistics: 25.2 points, 7.3 rebounds, 4.3 assists. I call them the OKC of the East. I did see a meme this week about comparing Banchero to Jason Tatum. I think that's outrageous because Tatum's a much better player, but at the same time, I do think he has that Jason Tatum type potential. And again, I'm not trying to troll you guys. The Orlando Magic are the first team to have 3 players 22 years or younger to average 15 points in their first playoff series. That statistic comes from SI.com. So thank you, SI, for that.
Yeah.
We are going old school this next one. Bill Russell, 1957 tops, PSA 5, last sold for 5.9 thousand. Now, once you go higher than 5, it's just absolutely ridiculous numbers. So there's an absolute gradient on this, but I wanted to put some old school in. I wanted to put some just old school cardboard in here. And I think that's a really insane card that I'd love to have in my checklist. And I'm gonna die on this hill. I still think Bill Russell is underrated in the hobby world, and I do think he's got that long-term hold. So,
for sure, yeah.
Steph for. Sorry, man.
Yeah, Bill Russell. That makes sense. It makes sense. I have a similar view with a different player, but yes.
Steph Curry at 4. You're not going to be surprised about this if you listen to the last couple of episodes. We've been talking about buying Steph Curry rookies. That still stays standing.
Yep.
Number 3, Anthony Edwards. I'm not going to lie to you. Your little monologue that you did last week did get me thinking about Anthony Edwards and the game that he had today, and also in the first series, the first round of the playoffs was just insane.
Yeah.
I think you got to tip your hat to this guy. I think there's a lot of hobby heat on this guy. So whether it's right or wrong, where he's going to play out, I think for the next 2 years, the market is going to be very positive for Edwards. So I think if you're buying now, it's almost like a very soft runway to sort of see where it all goes. And
to see, yeah.
In my head, sort of low risk, just because of how popular I think he is becoming. So number 2, I've got Jordan inserts, and that's a very, again, open-ended conversation here. I think anything that you're buying PSA 10 that is sub $200 on, I think is just a very safe buy. He's very liquid. People love Jordan, and they seem to be spiking at very inconsistent and unusual times.
Yeah.
For my number 1 pick, I have Nikola Jokic. I found a sale on Twitter from our friends at Card Lab, BGS 9.5, light blue number to 199, last sold for 5,000 US.
Whoa.
So let's just say you can't afford that, but you can get his silver rookie. Either one of those, I would look. Anything, frankly, Jokic at the moment, I think is just chronically undervalued and not appreciated and loved for. So he is my number 1 with a bullet, and I can't tell you the difference between number 1 and 2. I'm sort of showing my arms very stretched far apart. If you can see me on video, if you can't see me on the podcast, just imagine me.
So it's just such a big gap. You reckon Jokic is just such a strong buy?
I want to buy Jokic right now.
Okay.
After the show, I'll probably do some bidding on Jokic. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
That's it. You just can't help it. It's just Jokic. Yeah, fair. Yep. And you're not joking around, as in that's a joker. No.
This is not a comedy show, Adam.
This is not comedy. Yeah. It could be. Who knows? I have a few different ones. There were a lot of overlaps. I put together a shorter list. I think, and then rather than put them into order, I'll slot into your categories.
Yeah, so hit it.
All timers, Kobe and Jordan, I think are a currency. They're icons of the game. If you're investing, you're probably, you know what I mean? Like you've probably missed the boat on it, but they're not assets that are going to depreciate.
There's some thought around Kobe though that there's too much of it. Do you buy into that?
No.
Or do you think that the market is still there for it and it
I
is going
think
to keep going up?
there's a
Yeah.
market for it, and it's a relatively large market. It's not like there are a lot of Kobe fans. A lot of Kobe fans.
Yeah.
He was like, he didn't he have like the highest selling jersey in China? Like he took the mantle from Yao Ming, I think. Like it was like him and Jordan. I don't think there's enough supply to mitigate the demand.
Okay.
Is what I'm saying. And over time, obviously they can print Kobe cards, but there's no more autos being made.
There is definitely no more autos coming.
To elaborate on the Jordan inserts, I did have a point. My thoughts were Jordan inserts, PSA 10s. Like finding PSA 10s that haven't yet gone crazy and spiked.
Yeah. So we're on the very same wavelength.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's PSA 10 is where it's at. I don't know if PSA 9 has the same impact. With Kobe, I'd go autos or patches. Patches is probably more value at the moment, especially the game worn stuff. Like that might be a target to if you're looking for some value. But with Kobe,
with autograph or without? Are you just saying like
without patches, game worn?
Yeah,
because you might be able to get his autograph, but a piece of game worn material is probably the next best thing.
I'll go one step further on that. I actually think even the game worn stuff that's coming out of product at the moment, I actually think that's a bit undervalued.
Yeah,
particularly when we pay such a premium for rookie patch autographs that aren't not even associated. They're literally just a piece of cloth they've cut out. Some of it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Some of it just looks like crap,
Yeah.
frankly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting dynamic that we currently have in the hobby. Yeah,
for sure. And look, things do change and perspectives change. So yeah, it might be something that people just jump on at some point, and that could be an opportunity in the market.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, there was obviously Jordan and Kobe. Curry is my other one as far as the big three collecting wise.
I think we've spent too much time talking about basketball cards, Ed.
Yeah, probably. You ready for my next tirade on Curry? No, we're not.
Yeah, hit it.
No, it's not. It's a really simple philosophy. As soon as the kids that all adore him are middle-aged and working like with extra income, just there'll be a spike. And I'd rather be on this side of the spike because as with Kobe, as with Jordan, we all had our first jobs and bought some Jordans and some Kobes, then got a better job and bought better Jordans and better Kobes. That's going to happen with Steph Curry. And I agree there's a lot of signatures out there, which is why I think a Curry purchase needs to be very calculated. It needs to be. I've said it on the record a little while back. The timeless moments is probably one of the ones that I would be eyeing as a piece.
Yep.
Something like that, something that really tributes the From Downtown, those inserts that are really iconic. Yeah. And then, Anthony Edwards, God, numbered rookies, kabooms, cool inserts. Yeah, like I'm on board. I'm jumping on board the Ant-Man train.
Yeah.
I agree with Bill Russell, and this is going to be morbid, so I won't touch on it for long. Kareem is my great, because he's still with us for now, but I think there will come a time where Kareem is no longer with us.
So do you think that Kareem is currently underappreciated, or are you more just looking at it from the point of view of he's getting older and therefore
get the product while you can?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like get the on-card autos while you can. Yeah, like we were lucky enough to get him in the like the NBA 75 was one that I thought of. Some iconic stuff from an all-time great.
Yeah.
And then I completely agree with you about Paolo Banchero. The other one I think might be in sleeper mode at the moment, but I think will wake up soon is Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, look, I was very hot on him, and I still feel as though it's okay to go and buy some Cade, but I think that team is going to be bad for a couple of years, man. I think that's really.
Well, it depends if Kevin Durant goes there.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. But yes, I do think I think there are some good rookies out there, and Wemby is going to overshadow them. So there might be some opportunities.
Yeah, sure.
Probably the high performers. But yeah, good list. I like it.
Cheers, man. Any more for yours you want to touch on?
Nah, not really.
Yeah,
I'm not as keen on Jokic. I think Ant-Man and Curry are the two that I'm super strong on at the moment.
even when you saw that data I presented with the difference in price between Giannis and Jokic, you're still not convinced?
Oh, I'll buy Jokic over Giannis.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't know. Buyer beware. Like I've got, who was it that said the bigs don't perform? Ryan. Historically, bigs don't perform well.
Yeah.
In the market.
All right. Look, I've been wrong on so many things, so I'm not even. I can't even really argue.
I'm happy to be proven wrong on Jokic because Jokic is about to join some very, very elite company if he wins the third MVP.
Yeah,
it's a very elite company.
We're nearly at the end, so why don't we do some fake trades for KD? So the Wolves have eliminated the Suns, so we thought we'd do like a bit of a fun segment where we just talk some absolute nonsense about KD. So I've come up with 2 fake trades.
I've gone crazy, and I've got 3 or 4 now, so I've got screenshots, which is fine. I've got 4, and then once you showed me the thing where I can put like little trade exemptions and bits and pieces,
yeah. So do you want to go first, Dad? I think you've got some really good ones.
The first one was a bit of a joke trade. I think we were working this out before the show. What if Kevin Durant wants to go back in time to when things were better, and goes back to the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
So I've got Kevin Durant and Nasir Little leaving Phoenix and joining the Warriors.
Yeah,
because obviously they're going to need a backup small forward to go with the small forward they're acquiring. So they're going to get rid of Andrew Wiggins and Chris Paul, the Warriors.
Yep.
Chris Paul's going back to Phoenix, which is the last time he got close to success. So they're both ESPN, trying to run it back.
The ESPN narrative on this is that stars go home.
Yep.
It writes itself. Does this stuff? Doesn't it?
They're traveling back to to when things were simpler, when life felt good, when winning was easy for Kevin Durant. Things haven't been so bright and shiny since he left. I was trying to orchestrate a Thunder trade, but the trade trackers didn't like it. So maybe he's not going back to OKC. But Golden State, this is successful.
Yep.
Very successful.
I like that trade. I think it's got some fake trade potential.
All right. Who's your first trade?
So my one is the most obvious elephant in the room. Kevin Durant goes to the Lakers. We all know that LeBron loves picking up some talent and pulling. So
LeBron stays in this scenario.
All your main pieces stay. So you keep D'Angelo Russell, you keep Anthony Davis. You do lose Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, Gabe Vincent, and Jared Vanderbilt, but I feel like you'll be able to live with that if you're picking up KD.
Can we keep Austin and get rid of D'Angelo?
I think that might work, but then it's a lot more salary for the Suns to take on.
I want to keep Vanderbilt. Anyway. Yeah, right. Fair enough. We hope that doesn't happen. We know LeBron's walking. It means we keep Bronny as well. Do the Lakers get to draft Bronny with Bron? Anyway.
I mean, that's a separate piece altogether. But
that's next week's fantasy.
They have to draft him.
Trade.
They have to draft this kid. Yeah.
We could do that to the listeners and go on reasons a team should or shouldn't draft Bronny.
My second and final is a straight up trade between the Atlanta Hawks and the Suns, and Trae Young goes to the Suns. And Kevin Durant goes to the Hawks, which is absolutely ridiculous. It would never happen, but at the same time, I thought it's a fresh start for Trae.
Interesting.
It will be a defensive nightmare being the Phoenix Suns, though, because that means you'd have Trae Young, Bradley Beal, and Booker on the court all at the same time. That would be quite fun. But offensively,
I think they'd move Beal on.
I don't think anyone is taking that contract, man.
Nope, not going to happen.
That is like
can't even. Yeah.
The joke is, what's worse, Ben Simmons or Bradley Beal's contract?
Oh goodness. We know Ben Simmons is the answer to that, unfortunately. But
I think Beal is worse, man.
Really?
He's like. That's an absolute
I had a very similar trade, except I threw Sadiq Bey in.
You're joking.
Kevin Durant for Trae Young and Sadiq Bey.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just trying to balance out the salary a bit better, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You ready for my not very realistic ones? I've got 2
Lay
more.
them on me, man.
These are the first 2 that seemed obvious as far as at least they're easy to work out on paper.
Yep.
But they're not. They're probably not happening. The first one is the return of next year, Ja Morant comes back from injury. Comes back fresh, ready to go.
Yeah.
However, Jaren Jackson Jr. is gone, as is Marcus Smart, in exchange for Kevin Durant.
This might be your best one so far, actually.
Kevin Durant at the Memphis Grizzlies. They will probably need some size, but KD can play center for a little bit. Why not?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Their defense would probably suffer a little bit. But yes,
yeah, cool.
I think the Suns get what they want in Marcus Smart with the point guard, and then they get a little bit of extra size with Triple J.
Yeah.
And Memphis get almost a big three with if Baines your third, but
and a veteran presence that may or may not be able to keep Ja under control.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Or might get him out of control. Who knows?
That's right.
We know what happened in Brooklyn. My other trade was with the Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero.
Okay.
Going and some other bits and pieces. I guess they'd work it out. On their way to Phoenix in exchange for Kevin Durant.
Those last two are actually the most obvious or the most realistic of all these nonsense fake trades.
Yeah. So it would be interesting to see that. I mean, Hero's quite a bit to give up for Miami as far as his youth.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. Who says no? Like I think it balances out. Like Hero and Robinson might balance out the Phoenix side of things.
I think Phoenix says no. I think most of it, in my mind, leverages on Durant's performance.
I reckon the reality is there'll be a 3-way trade, and it'll involve a lot of first-round picks to go to Phoenix because Phoenix are cooked as far as they've only got one pick. That's this upcoming one.
Yeah, and they've gone all in a very dramatic way. So the initial conversation that emerged immediately after they were eliminated was that Durant wasn't utilized to his maximum potential. So I wonder if that's another way of saying they're either going to hire a new head coach or a new offensive coordinator or both.
Yeah, both. Yeah. True.
All right, Ad, what do you say? Final thoughts for this episode? Where are you at?
I'm curious to know if they get rid of Booker or KD Phoenix. They're going to have to be very smart with their moves. But
so you don't think they can just roll it back?
I don't think so. Yep. I don't think so. I think if KD moves, he either goes to Golden State or the Thunder, as far as a narrative goes. But I think next week's going to be a very interesting episode. We're going to have some NBA playoff stuff to look at, and so we'll probably go back to some card ladder versus series because they've been very entertaining. Like I didn't want to race too many this week, but now that we've got the second round starting, we're gonna see some more player versus player stuff. Who would you buy? Who have you got? We don't want to get carried away, but the Wolves taking game 1 was very impressive. Ant-Man, wow. Yeah.
My final thoughts are Nikola Jokic. That's it. Honestly,
You said that 3 times. It's almost like you're predicting he's going to win a 3rd MVP.
I'm really blown away by that little comparison that we put together, and it's just I'm actually having almost trouble comprehending like what's going on here. Like it just makes there's some things in the hobby that don't make sense. And then do you just say, right, this doesn't make sense, so now we need to capitalize on it? Do you know what I mean? I wonder if
I agree with that. I've gone the other way. I'm off Giannis. The other way. I think Giannis might be overrated.
No, and that could be part of it too. Yeah. But let's just say the truth is somewhere in the middle where, your Joker sort of finishes around the 5K mark and then Giannis finishes around the 6K mark. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe that's the future for both of these cards. But either way, I just feel like we've uncovered something, and I don't want to downplay what we do, but most of the time we don't really do something this significant, I don't think.
Oh, look, I think we've unmasked a potential opportunity.
This is the last thing I'll say, I promise, then we'll finish the show. Card Ladder undervalues the Jokic at 2.71% and overvalued 1.16% for the Giannis.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right. On that thought, thank you, Adam.
Yes, thanks for another it was a good episode. A lot of variety. I like the fake trades.
Yeah.
Let's think of something else to do in that light. That was
sure.
fun.
We can do that again. No worries. Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you to our podcast listeners. Thank you to our Central Coast Radio people. Have a lovely day.
Yeah. And we will see you next time.